Greetings, friends, and welcome back to the 3 Minute Horror Show. My name is Ben. I'm your host. I'm joined with Edmonton filmmaker Brandon Reines. He is responsible for the I'm Haunted series and the Grotesque series, and he's got his own YouTube channel called Brandon vs. Movies. And if you're watching this one for Victor Crowley for Hatchet 4, you've probably seen some of our other stuff already. So you don't need to know that we do a lot of these film analysis type videos. We do the Halloween series on my channel. We do Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, and we're doing Child's Play on Brandon's channel. Got Hatchet on mine. We're going to do Leprechaun next. So please join us for those. But today we are going to talk about Victor Crowley, aka Hatchet 4. A return to form in the respect that this one was directed again by Adam Green, who directed the first two, not the second, not the third one. That was directed by B.J. McConnell. This one is directed by Adam Green, written by Adam Green, and this was kind of a surprise. No one knew this was coming out, and then all of a sudden it was out. I don't think it got a theatrical release. I don't think any of them got a theatrical release, to be perfectly honest, but they might have. I don't remember what I was doing back in 2004 when the first one came out, other than working. So maybe they did. Who knows? But this one is a little bit on the different side. Brandon, what did you think of this one?
I hated this movie. This movie sucked. It pissed me off. I hated every
Really?
second of it. Well, not every second. This went bad. They toned down a bit of the stupid comedy in
Yeah.
the third one, which it's like these movies should be more serious. Their jokes are not funny. So the third one's like, okay, there's not a lot of jokes. Here, the jokes are bad back, and every one of them is stupid and offensive and bad and not funny. Like the whole part where they're doing the book signing, and
Yeah.
then it's like every joke has to be like just raw. Like chick shows her tits, and it's like, can you sign the left one for me, and then sign the right one for my dad? And then there's like some fat guy comes up and like whips out his dick, and you actually see his dick, and he's like, sign my dick. It's like it's not funny. It's like who like what kind like you have like what kind of juvenile would just find that funny? Like every single joke was offensive, and I hated it. If we weren't going to do this review, I would have just like turned it off. But
Oh,
I'm like, I guess we should continue watching it until we get to the kills. And most of the kills, like half the movie, just takes place in a crashed airplane with
yeah.
the same kind of someone's drowning, and it's like they could have just took the 10 minutes worth of Victor Crowley kills out, and that would have been its own good thing. Like this, it just every second of this pissed me off.
Oh no, we're gonna be really different on this one.
Huh? Well,
I
that's
thought
good.
some of that stuff was funny. I thought that guy
Really?
trying to get his little penis signed was very funny because how like there wasn't enough room to sign on. He's just
Yeah.
getting his little wiener out. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
There are a lot fewer kills in this one, but they are very gnarly. They some of the most creative things we've seen so far. Hopefully, you can't hear the bird going nuts right behind me,
Yeah.
but such is the nature of doing these podcasts, right? Um, can you hear that?
No.
Okay, good. All right, gonna leave this in because it's funny. Stupid bird. Either way, this one picks up 10 years after the last one happened, and things have been very quiet in the swamp. Victor Crowley is not come back. He's a memory. People do remember him because now this area of the swamp that Victor Crowley killed all these people in is a huge tourist trap. People go on swamp tours of to see all the spots where Victor Crowley killed everybody and the shack that he lived in, which should have been blown up, I think. But either way, it's back. Um, but people come from all around to go to the swamp. People are filming movies in the swamp all the time. They're filming Victor Crowley tribute movies or, cashing in on the story. And meanwhile, the one survivor, Andrew the paramedic, Andrew Young, has been profiting off of this tragedy the entire time. People don't like that when people profit off of other people's deaths. He's been doing the talk show circuits. He's been on like Celebrity Survivor or whatever. He's been on celebrity reality shows. He's been, really, really milking this thing, and he's got a new book out. He's on his ex-wife's talk show to publicize this book, and she really lets him have it because she's his ex-wife. She doesn't like him at all, but he's there to publicize this book. His manager is Felissa Rose, who's another horror. icon. But Felissa Rose is in all sorts of indie stuff all over the place all the time. She's got like 300 credits or something like that.
Hmm.
Uh, but the manager is Felissa Rose, and um, at the book signing that Brandon mentioned with the boobs and the penis, there's a trio of filmmakers there. One is a director, one's an actor slash boyfriend of the director, and one's a makeup artist. And they've got a pitch deck that they want to serve to Andrew Young to see if he'll be in their movie about Victor Crowley. What do you think about all this so far? I know what you think about this so far.
Yeah, like I might have hated the movie. The
Yeah,
storyline could have worked.
yeah,
They have it's like okay, there's some filmmakers there doing a Victor Crowley movie, and then Andrew's character gets invited to be part of a documentary, and his manager lies to him and tells him that they're offering him $1 million
yeah,
to be part of this movie. So he's like, because at first he's like, I'm never going back to that swamp, but she's
yeah,
like, hey, give me $1 million. So he agrees to do it. So then he's on an airplane with his ex-wife and his manager and this documentary crew.
yeah.
All of them are fucking annoying as hell.
They all hate each other too. Like they're all nasty.
Yeah, they're all just like it's just like all nasty people. And
One of
well,
them, notably, one of them is Tiffany Shepis from the Trauma films.
okay, I don't know that.
Yeah,
And Felicity Rose, as you mentioned, is
yeah,
she was the young girl in the first Sleepaway Camp movie.
yeah.
And honestly, yeah, you said she's been in a lot of stuff. This is the only thing I recognize her from, other than that.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
yeah,
She's in all sorts of indie movies. She's one of the people who, when you're trying to make your indie movie look legit, you get Felissa Rose or you get Brink Stevens or you get one of those people in it, like
yeah,
or Eric Roberts. You
Eric
throw
Roberts.
some money at them and then they go to the top billing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, so basically, this the plane ends up crashing. So now they're stuck in this swamp. At the same time, the this film crew is also there's kind of two film crews. There's like the documentary one, and then there's the three filmmakers who want to make the movie of Victor Crowley. So they're all kind of gathered around in this swamp area,
Yeah.
and you know, say what you expect happens as Victor Crowley goes on like yet another rampage.
But it's funny in the respect that how he comes back, because the film crew is there to meet with a tour guide who they've promised a role in the movie, and he's played by Dave Sheridan, aka Deputy Doofy from the Scary Movie franchise. So Dave Sheridan is there with them, and he's showing them around. But meanwhile, in order to get the voodoo chant right for the movie, they on the makeup artist's phone, she's playing a YouTube video of Professor Voodoo or Doctor Voodoo or Tony Todd's character from the first one movies doing the voodoo chant that created Victor Crowley in the first place. And she kind of leaves it on loop and just like leaves her phone there, and that's enough to restart the Victor Crowley curse. Just having Tony Todd's character do the chant on YouTube on a phone in the area that Victor Crowley died in. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, it was as good of a reason as any to bring him back, and it
Mhm.
was slightly plausible. Yes, it worked. It
So the tricky part is what sort of contrived reason will end up making him go away after being brought back that way because there's no ashes, there's no nothing. Like, I mean, how could they possibly get rid of him after
yeah.
that?
We'll get to that when we come to it. But
Yeah.
one of my main problems with the movie is I think they had a low budget, so
Hmm.
they couldn't do as much. They couldn't have as many kills. There was fewer
Yeah.
people, and a lot of it just took place in the fuselage of this plane.
Yeah.
But then they had to have all this inter-character drama, which pissed me off. And then one of the characters was like pinned beneath a seat,
Yeah.
and she was slowly drowning, and it looked like it's only the bottom half of her body. Why couldn't just put a pillow under her head to keep her about out of the water? I don't know. It just
Which
kind
would
of
have worked. It would work for part of it, and then we'll get into how that would have been foiled after. But that was Tiffany Shepis's character, the one from the Trauma movies, and yeah, she's pinned. She can't get out, and the water is slowly filling the fuselage of the plane that crashed directly over the Victor Crowley swamp. And most of the kills, almost, not all of them, but a lot of the kills in this movie happen through the plane crash without Victor Crowley's involvement at all. And then some more of the kills after that happened from creatures in the swamp. So alligators and snakes and stuff also killed some people that didn't add to the Victor Crowley kill count. They were just nature, I guess. But so after Victor Crowley comes back to life, the first people that see him, the first guy that sees him is Tyler Mane from who is Rob Zombie's Halloween Michael Myers. He's a tall hunter who just happens to be out there and he gets his head chopped off because Victor Crowley has just come back. And did you notice that was him?
I did not notice. I did not notice
Bald
them.
guy with a beard. He's like 7 feet
Yeah.
tall. Gets his head
Now
chopped
you
right
mentioned it,
off.
I'm like, oh, okay,
Yeah,
that's who that was. Yeah.
yeah. So he's the first one that gets it, and then the director and her boyfriend find the shack. And guess what's in the shack, everybody? It's the belt sander. The belt sander's in the shack. And so the boyfriend gets killed immediately because Victor Crowley is now fully back. The girl gets away, and then Victor Crowley chases her down to outside the plane fuselage where everybody else is kind of hiding. And he injures her and tries to use her as bait to get people to come out. And what happens after that is Felissa Rose's character goes nuts and runs out, and we get one of the nastiest kills that has ever been committed to film that I will describe at the end of the video, like I did in the last one. Super, super gross, but pretty funny
I
at the
do
same
have
time.
to interject here and
Yeah,
say
go
that
for it.
for the way she dies, I had an idea for. I think it was for. Might have been Grotesque 2.
Yeah,
I had a similar idea for a kill that I pitched to Julie, my
yeah.
co-producer, and she was like, "Nah." She's like, "That won't work." She's like, "That." She's like, "Anatomically, that's impossible." And I was like, okay, so we decided not to do it. I didn't know that it had already been done in this other movie, so maybe it's a good thing that we
It
didn't
would
do
have
it.
been
But
anatomically impossible for Mildred to pull off because Mildred isn't supernaturally strong.
because she doesn't have the strength. Yeah.
Yeah. But this guy can put things through things, let's just say.
Yeah. I think that was this. I think overall, this movie, like the kills, there was fewer of them, and they weren't as memorable. I was kind of disappointed by them.
Yeah.
That was like probably the most gruesome, like whoa, like kill. The director getting her head stomped. Look, that was pretty gross.
Yeah.
Other than that, like they just like there was something missing with them. Like they're just like okay, I don't know. They just weren't as memorable. There were some good moments of just Victor Crowley. He's prowling around this crashed plane, and
Yeah.
like they can't escape. They're trapped, and he's out there, and they know that like yeah, their friend's injured, but they know he's right there, ready to pounce on them as soon as they go out.
Yeah.
It could have been well done. It's just yeah, I don't know.
He was even up top for a little while, kind of looking at what was going on. He used the angle grinder to try and get in as well. Um, I thought when he starts attacking the plane, when he starts jumping up on the top of the fuselage and jumping up and down, that's when the water started filling in faster. And it got to a point where the Tiffany Shepis character was drowned in the fuselage. I don't think that trying to get her head propped up with a pillow would have happened. It would have worked in that situation. It was too full at that point.
Oh, okay.
I thought that something was going to get her. I thought that one of the snakes was going to get her because there were a bunch of water snakes coming into the fuselage at the beginning too. I thought she was going to get bitten by a poisonous snake. But I mean, it was kind of a um, I don't like to watch drowning deaths like that when you can see the person's eyes and you can see as they're drowning because that's something that could really happen. And it's just like that hopelessness. You can feel the hopelessness that must be running through their brain. Oh, I
Yeah,
don't like that very much.
yeah, I know what you mean. Like that was kind of
Mm.
one of the more disturbing parts of the movie because it was a
Yeah.
bit more realistic.
And
But
knowing she was pregnant too, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
but
Bad stuff. Hmm?
you mentioned the snakes and stuff, and I'm just
Yeah.
wondering if with their lower budget they didn't have enough money to get Kane Hodder to be there for as many days as they did
Oh,
the
maybe.
previous ones. So they're like, shit, we can't have as many Victor Crowley kills, but we still need to fill an hour and a half. So they're
Mhm.
trying to find other ways to do it by having other animals and stuff in there. But it's like that's not the reason we're watching this movie. So there's just like so many extended stretches of like anything other than Victor Crowley happening. And then
Yeah.
you get a cool scene with Victor Crowley, and it's like, okay, now the movie's good again. and then back to just other bullshit. And it it just, yeah, to me it was the weakest in the series by far.
Oh man, maybe you're making me rethink my rating of it, but no, I'm still going to give it the original rating.
No, yeah, no, no. I think it's good that we disagree on them. I
Yeah,
like it.
no, I think so too. But yeah, um, but like Brandon said, I don't know if this was a shorter movie than the other ones too, because we're nearing the end of the synopsis here. Once they're in that plane fuselage, there's a bunch of different scenes where people are trying to be brave, or people are braving going out there, and they're giving big speeches about how I'm going to go do this, or I'm going to run and go get the phone so we can try and call the cops, like the cops would be able to do anything, or just all that sort of stuff that happens in horror films. But people just keep going out there, braving Victor Crowley's wrath and getting killed by Victor Crowley or something else. And it goes that way until there are only three left, and that's Deputy Doofy, that's Dylan, who is Dave Sheridan's character, the makeup artist that came with the director and the boyfriend initially, and Perry Shen's Andrew Young character. They're the three that are left. They can't figure out how they're going to kill this guy, but they figure, you know what? We've got this plane, and the engine might still work if we try and hotwire this plane, if we try and get it going. If we can get a plane engine running, well, like what happens to a bird when it goes through a plane engine? It gets vaporized, right? It turns into red mist. So what if we turn this guy into red mist? Not thinking about like how are you going to get this monstrous, massive man through this thing, but they managed to do it. But it requires the sacrifice of Dylan's character. So he has to do one of those Goldberg spears. Like he
Did,
runs at him. Sorry?
I was gonna say, did it really require him to do
It
that?
probably didn't, but I don't know. It did it anyway because I guess that's what he wanted to do for some manufactured drama. But he does the Goldberg spear and he puts the two of them through the turbine, and they turn into red mist.
Yeah, another interesting parallel to grotesque in that movie.
Yeah,
I swear people might watch grotesque and be like, "Oh, I took things from Hatchet." I never saw a single Hatchet movie till about like 3 weeks ago.
yeah,
Um, but it's like there's a part in Victor Crowley where the Andrew character is gonna Victor Crowley's in front of the plane engine. Andrew's gonna shoot him like with a gun,
yeah.
and then she's like, "No, like let me do it." So she throws an axe at him, and the axe just like lands at his feet like uselessly. And then she's like, "Oh, never mind. Okay, shoot him." That's kind of like the part in Grotesque where Mildred throws the knife at
Yeah,
Marilyn, and it just kind of like hits her and
yeah,
bounces to the ground. So it's like we must have just been on similar wavelengths.
yeah,
Um, but then of course Andrew shoots Victor Crowley, and he's like stumbling back towards
yeah,
the engine, but not quite far enough.
yeah,
So then Buddy just goes and like tackles him into it.
yeah,
Why not just try kicking him or like pushing him with a stick for try
yeah.
something before sacrificing your life just to get him the extra like foot into the machine?
Exactly.
It seemed like he kind of killed himself uselessly.
Yeah, well, I think that you probably were on the same wavelength because that's funny. It's a lot harder to people in the movies throw knives at each other and just straight murk each other with throwing knives all the time. But that's not an easy thing to do. Like if you've ever tried to do axe throwing or anything like that as an activity, it's really hard unless you do it perfectly. It's really hard to get that thing to stick. So
Yeah,
you're and those things have to be weighted properly. If people are just throwing some random ass knife or random ass axe at somebody, it's not going to hit like that. It's gonna that heavy part is going to go to the ground.
yeah,
I liked how Andrew Young had kind of a redemption arc because he was a piece of shit and he was profiteering off of people's deaths. And he was blamed for this, and he really, it wasn't his fault, but a lot of people blamed him for, like, probably half the world's population thought that he was the murderer, and the other half think that he's some sort of supernatural whisperer. But poor guy at the end of this one, sure did look like he killed more people in the swamp, right?
yeah,
So he's going to get blamed for this one too. Um, yeah, I thought I really liked it. I liked the redemption arc. I didn't think the humor was as stupid as Brandon thought it was. I thought it was all right. I didn't like how the people were all nasty to each other. I did like the gnarly kills, but then when I went back to go through my notes again, there really weren't as many as I thought that there were when I first watched the movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was kind of downbeat. The notable kills in this one, the boyfriend actor guy, he gets his head ripped off by a claw hammer, which is pretty gnarly. He gets a claw hammer through the head and then it rips his head off. One guy gets old school scalped, like he just has his scalp taken right off. And I don't think that that would necessarily kill somebody, but it did in this case.
Yeah.
Yeah, people
Probably
survived after being
he's probably
scalped in the
believing
Wild
that.
West. Felissa Rose. Okay, so here's the Felissa Rose kill. She has her arm torn off. It is he takes the arm, he shoves it up, and her cell phone's in her hand. He takes the arm, he shoves it up through her vagina, out through her mouth. So her hand, her bloody, disgusting, gory hand holding the cell phone is coming out of her mouth, going through to the end of her vagina.
It was nasty.
It was pretty nasty. And somebody goes and picks up that phone and uses it afterwards too. And then Chloe, the director, as Brandon mentioned, has her head stomped in, which is a pretty standard kill. I mean, we've seen people do that in the Child's Play movies too.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the next one, have you watched the next one yet? Have you watched Cult of Chucky?
I've seen it before,
Okay.
like when it came out, but I
All
haven't
right.
seen it since. I barely remember it, so
Okay.
I'm gonna
So we'll
watch it
talk about
soon
that
and
later.
refresh my memory.
All right. So what did you think of this about this movie overall?
I obviously did not like it. And it's funny you mentioned like the Andrew character because he was probably my least favorite part of the first movie. I hated him in the first movie.
Yeah.
Now he was like my favorite part of it
Yeah.
because it's like oh like when he's not being an annoying trying to be funny. I think these movies would just I think they should just give up the comedy. Just have a little bit
Yeah.
of comedy. They're better when it's just like a straight up violent horror movie. So I would like I like after part three, I was like, okay, they could end this with part four, and this is a damn good series, right? Like
Yeah.
it's, and then it's just like they end on this note where I'm like, I hope they never make another one.
Well,
I'd have to give it a three.
they really left the door open because at the end of this one, Mary Beth Dunstan, Danielle Harris, sees the news reports about how Andrew Young and this young lady, I believe her name is Chloe, survive. No, Chloe is the director. I can't remember the name of this girl. Um, they survive another swamp massacre, and Danielle Harris grabs a shotgun and says that I've been waiting for this motherfucker. And then she,
But I can't believe I totally saw that. I thought that
yeah,
was actually a pretty decent part. When we did our review last time
yeah,
of part three. I forgot that. I couldn't remember if she lived or died, but
yeah.
apparently she lives.
So now, that was 2017. It's 2026 now. I don't think they're going to make another one of these. If they do, maybe he'll put some more money into it and do something really cool, but I don't know. Kane Hodder's getting older. I don't know if he's still down with doing all that stuff.
Yeah, he's it's kind of unfortunate, but
Yeah.
yeah, they'd almost have to get a different guy to play the part. I think.
Yeah. I'm kind of interested to watch that Holliston show that Adam Green did, the comedy series that was a horror-based comedy, just to see if the humor is the same. Because if you didn't like the humor in these ones, you probably wouldn't like that show. And I don't know if I would either, other than the fact that Dave Brockie is in it as Odorous Urungus,
Yeah,
playing his character, who is like the imaginary friend of one of the lead characters, I think. Because Dave Brockie was a fantastically talented man, and I thought he was wonderful. But his demons got the better of him
yeah.
several years ago, and that's that. But yeah, did you give an actual number rating of this one yet, or did I cut you
Three,
off? A
three.
three? Okay, three. That's not great. You know what I gave it, everybody? You're gonna be shocked. I gave it an eight. I gave it an 8 out of 10.
Whoa,
Can you believe it? It was my favorite one in the series.
really?
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
I was just looking up to see what other people thought. So I
Yeah,
googled like Hatchet best to worst. I was
yeah,
looking at other people's lists, and I found another person that said this was their favorite one. And I was like, what? And it's funny because his I'd probably say like two's the best, then one, then three, then four.
yeah,
This one I saw online for some famous horror site had it the exact opposite.
yeah.
So it's
I
like,
had
okay,
mine would go 4, 3, 2, 1.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, folks, that brings us to the end of the Hatchet series. It was a shorter one. It was a fun one. It was an early one. But we'll be back on this channel. For the next film analysis that we'll be doing on this channel is going to be the Leprechaun series, which is another one that varies wildly in quality. And we're going to be sticking to the mainline Leprechaun series. We're not going to be doing all the weird clones and all these other ones that came out afterwards. Like British horror ITN came out with one recently, and the Sci-Fi Network had some Leprechaun clones too. We're just going to do the mainline ones, the ones that are in the continuity. Or I don't know, are they in the continuity? They go to space.
Yeah.
That's not continuity. I don't know. Whatever. Remember to subscribe to Brandon's channel, Brandon versus Movies, and go and watch his new grotesque movie that just came out as of the recording of this. It's Mildred Moyer crime file, was it?
Mildred Moyer, Diary of a Lovable Psychopath, true crime.
Yes. I knew that true crime was in it. And I've watched it and I thought it was a lot of fun. But I will watch Elizabeth B. Mildred Moyer any day of the week in anything, and it's lots of fun. Uh, Watch that 14 times and then put a like on it because you can only like it once. And then put a comment on it so that Brandon has more engagement with that. And then hopefully we can get Grotesque 3 made, and that'll be a lot of fun. So subscribe to his channel, subscribe to my channel while you're at it, and please join us again for more stuff like this. Thank you very much.